Brilliant. I feel like we're miles away from you today.
Is I a bit far away.
Not a bad thing for you. David, can we start today with the injuries? Obviously had a couple of weeks off at boys in international duty. How are they able to come back?
Well, I think everybody's okay. Obviously John O'Shea took a fair rattle in his game, but we think he's okay. He done a bit of training yesterday. Brian Oviedo's returned fine, Seb Larsson's returned fine, so hopefully we've not getting into too problematic.
Lamine missed the last game. Will he be okay for?
Lamine's trained this week. He was training again quite early. It wasn't anything serious. It probably just the game probably came just a day or two too quickly for him against Burnley.
Will Lee Cattermole be in the squad for tomorrow?
Not sure yet.
How close is he and how well has he done to get to this stage?
He's coming along nicely. He's missed a lot of football. In fact, he's missed the whole season. So we're nearly April, and he's hardly been involved all season. So we have to make sure we're right. But he's an important member of the squad, and we've missed him for different reasons. So he's not too far away.
Yeah, it sounds as though whether it is this weekend or soon, by the way you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
He is the sort of guy, or do you think he's the sort of guy who can come in and rejuvenate things because of his character?
Well, if he does, it'll be fantastic because we're running out of time, so we need him. But as I said, we've missed him for what has it been 9 months of the season now.
A real shot in the arm for the club this week. Jermaine Defoe getting called up for England starting, and then scoring a dream for him, and I suppose great for Sunderland as well.
Well, it's a great message that for all the young English players who I can see not getting games at their clubs, well, why don't you come to Sunderland and you've got a good chance of becoming an England international. Jordan Pickford showed that. Jermaine Defoe, even at the age, is showing that. So I hope we're a good advertisement for a lot of those young players who are not getting games regular at some of the bigger clubs.
You've obviously worked with lots of big name players throughout the years. He looks as though what he does off the pitch is exemplary. Where does he rank with the others that you've worked alongside?
Well, I think that when you live correctly, then it gives you a great chance of longevity in your career. I've seen it with some other people. Ryan Giggs was one who had a great length of career because of how he trained and how he worked. I've seen it with others as well. So, but I think Jermaine's a bit the same. Jermaine is able to trains every day, misses no training days. Looks after himself well off the pitch as far as doesn't eat correctly, doesn't drink, and I think if you want to stay in the game, I think you have got to do that nowadays because the young ones are fit, they're all very strong and fast, and they're always trying to take over you. So you've got to work harder the older you get to stay in the game. You
talk about eating correctly. I noticed a few quotes from this week saying that he was trying to become vegan and giving up meat. Is that something you maybe would encourage the rest of your players, given what he looks like he's doing right now?
Well, I think it will suit Jermaine for his lifestyle and maybe the way he lives. I'm not sure it's for everybody, and there might be nutritionists out there who would tell us it's the wrong thing, but I'm sure there's others who would say it's definitely the correct thing. But if it makes him feel good, if it makes him feel confident, then so be it.
Is he recovered in time since his exertion?
Yeah, he trained yesterday, and hopefully he's ready.
A few stories circulating this week regarding Jermaine's contract and that he's free to leave in the summer should Sunderland go down. Are you able to clear that up for him?
Well, the only thing I can clear up is we're not down and we're not planning to go down. We're planning to stay up. So that's what we're doing, and if that happens and we don't stay up, then we would answer the questions later.
Okay, another of your players who's been in the news this week for different reasons, Duncan Watmore, saving lives in Barbados. Yeah. They've not had a quiet thing these last
My goodness. Actually, I didn't know about it till I read it and asked him about it yesterday, and I've got to say the story he told me was incredible, and I think that it was a great thing he done. He was real danger, and he helped save a couple of old people's lives as well. So I've got to say it was. I think he was milking it yesterday, mind you, when he was telling us the story. He certainly did, but he's a really good boy. He's a humble boy, and I don't think he was certainly not in boasting about it. That's for sure.
I know at the Burnley game a couple of weeks ago, Leon was there. You met with him afterwards. there's been a couple of reports since then to say that the owner has told you your job is safe, even if you do go down. Is that something he has said to you categorically?
Do you think it was a shock that the guy who owns the football club was at the game?
I don't think it was a shock he was there, no. I'm just wondering if he'd underlined that to you since then.
I speak to Ellis quite regular. I mean, we've always said things are fine. We've always said what the plan is, and there's a building job going on, and hopefully we can try and get it all done together.
And in terms of this game at the weekend, the last time you went to London, probably the best performance of the season. Can you do that again?
We can do it again. We've got to show that we can do it again. We've got to go into it with knowing that the games are running out for us. We have to win them now. There's no half measures. So, as I said before, we've got to get out there and stand up and be counted. Thank you.
David, is Victor Onichebe nearing a return?
He's getting closer as well. He's been in America. He's worked with a couple of people who we know, and he's come back and he's started some training, so he's getting much closer. So we could certainly do with Lee Catmull and Victor back if we can get them back.
What have you made of Watford this season? A bit of a dip in form since last month?
I think Watford have looked like a steady Premier League team. I think they're a powerful team, big team, and giving themselves every chance of staying in the Premier League and on sort of a lot of basic requirements. So I think Watford have done fine, and I think they've got some good players in their team, and it'll be a tough game for us.
Are they safe, or can they be dragged into it as well?
Well, we've got to beat them first and foremost. If we can beat them, then we can start talking about seeing if we can drag them in. But I think Watford look like a side which, to me, look as if they'll be okay.
Have they changed much under Walter Mazzari, do you think? Obviously, Odia Nagalo is not there anymore. A lot revolved around him and Deeney last season.
I think they've changed a little bit, but they're a powerful team. That's what I see about them. Big team, and that's important in the Premier League. You play a lot of games in the Premier League, a lot of tough games, and you've got to be able to do that. And they can play a couple of styles. They play quite regular 3 at the back. Sometimes they play 4 at the back. They've altered. So they've got that. So we'll just need to wait and see.
Does that alter your thinking? Because you've shown a bit of flexibility with tactics in recent weeks as well.
I think there's been more flexibility in the Premier League this year. I think the introduction of Chelsea and probably Conte, and I've said before, I can't remember in my time any team having a system for the most of the season with 3 at the back which has ever won the Premier League. So for me, this might be the first year that a team who have played a 3 at the back system would won the English Premier League. And I think what it's done is it's looked, and other people have looked and said, well, look, we'll give it a go in some games, maybe not in others. And so I think Watford are the same, and I think we've done it as well. I think there is a bit more flexibility coming into the Premier League as far as defensive systems go. I think attacking systems have always been flexible, whether you're 1 up and 1 off, or 2 up, or however you want to play. I think there's more defensive flexibility coming into the Premiership than there's been in the past.
The Middlesbrough game was postponed, and then you had an international break, so it's been relatively quiet, I guess, last few weeks. Are you looking forward to a busy week and a busy month?
Well, this is it now, isn't it? Really, the month of April and in May hopefully will be vitally important for us. If we can win a few of these games in April, well, we've got games getting into May where we can hopefully give ourselves a real chance. It's been done here before, and we're going to have to do it again.
Watford, Leicester, Manchester United, we're talking make or break week? Yeah,
I think so. I think we have to take some points out of those games this week. It might not be everything, but I think it'll be, it'll certainly help define where we're going to be.
Thank you.
Everyone was a little bit down after the Burnley game, but you are still in there. You are, you're not cut adrift yet. Does that give you hope?
Yeah, we want to be in it as long as we can. I had Burnley in my head down as a game which was a must win. We got a point from it, and as I said after the game, I said, well, one of the games that I've got down as a draw, then I've got to try and change that draw into a win. So that's how it is in my head. But we've still got a majority of games we have to win. That's the fact, and we have to show that we're capable of doing that.
If you have got the job security and you see out the season, you're probably the first Sunderland manager in about 5 years to actually start and finish a season. Does that say something about the problems the club's had?
Well, I think before I came, it was documented the problems the club's had and continual change. But I think there's been things right at the club, some very good things, and I think there's been things wrong. So what we'll try and do is correct them. We'll try and make it better and stronger, and we're working to try and do that. Okay, cheers, thank you. Thanks, thank you. Tackled.
See you later. Cheers.